It has been long established that shooters have always been a tour de force as a collective genre in the world of video games. While most developers of shooters like Call of Duty or Quake found a persistent user base in multiplayer and adapted their development approach to reflect that, id Software's Doom reboot dropped in 2016 and once again rocked the very foundations of Twitch shooters. With a core focus on intense gunplay and a sizable single-player offering, id seeks to double up on this mantra with Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal throws you right into the action under the helmet of the Doomslayer around 2 years after the events of the first game. Demons have made their way from Mars all the way to Earth, presenting an imminent threat to humanity. Once again, the Doomslayer takes up arms from a space station called the Fortress of Doom that orbits the war-torn planet and seeks out 3 Hell Priests to neutralize, who are orchestrating the bloodshed from all corners of the globe. So as you would expect, the stakes are much higher, and with the threat hitting home, the Doomslayer has several extra tools in his arsenal to rip and tear, and many ways to get around the game's expansive universe. Compared to the previous game, Doom Eternal sports some incredible vistas bolstered by its great art design. In Doom 2016, Mars looked the best it could possibly be, but its palette is limited to hues of red, orange, and a lot of steel. The entirety of Doom Eternal spans different locations and climates, each with their own distinct style and culture, well, once you wipe away all the blood and demon bits from the walls. Ammo, health, and armor pickups are easy to spot from a distance in the heat of battle as they take the form of neon colors, and ledges or boost pads that can be used during arena fights or platforming segments glow intensely, so you're never really stuck on where to go next. Even when you're not knee-deep in lava or radioactive sludge, you're treated to some great locales to climb and explore in between all the demon slaying you'll be keen to fit in. And when it comes time to rip and tear until it is done, you'll be left wanting to do it even more. The combat remains as punchy and in-your-face as ever, where gunplay and movement is smooth like butter and seamless as you rack up a hefty body count. To assist with navigating around the huge environments in the game, Doom Eternal sports a roster of different tools that are versatile in and out of combat. For example, the Super Shotgun has the Meat Hook, used for either exploring the nooks and crannies of the environment for secret areas or to get more up and close and personal with enemies. Flame Belch and Ice Bombs allow for damage to enemies over a period of time, and are super effective in thinning out enemy numbers. A more in-depth vaulting system is implemented to around poles, ledges, and wall clinging, which works really well in the heat of battle, and encourages the player to always follow the golden rule of Doom: always keep moving. Even with the additions, it has further tweaked a few of the existing systems to improve upon what Doom 2016 offered. Some fan-favourite enemies make a return to Doom Eternal, but have been amended to force the player to dispatch them in different ways compared to the predecessor. For instance, the Cacodemon can have a sticky bomb lobbed in their mouth, immediately marking them for a glory kill. The Mancubus and Revenant can have their ranged weapons shot off, forcing them to melee attack you rather than engage annoyingly from a distance. The list of enemy changes go on, but we don't want to spoil the surprise and challenge either. The general pacing of the game improves with some of the smaller changes. Chainsaw fuel, which is used to kill lesser enemies and produce more ammo drops, is still used and collected throughout the environment, but this time it slowly recharges over time, preventing cases where the player has enough resources to carry on even in some of the toughest skirmishes. The Sentinel Crystal system powers your max health, armor, and ammo ratings, but adds specific perks tailored to the way you play the game, compared to the previous game where health, ammo, or armor ratings are predetermined depending on which one you acquire. So that way you can max out your ammo as quickly as possible if you prioritize it the most over health and armor. As there's a larger emphasis on platforming in Doom Eternal, falling from high ledges don't cause impact compensation or damage, and falling from cliffs result in small health penalties as opposed to instant death and forcing you to reload the latest checkpoint. The Doomslayer's arsenal also feels a little more fleshed out, as certain guns and mods have their own niche and they tend to work well depending on the specific enemy type you face or the situation. Using the Destroyer Blade Ballista mod is great for horizontal crowd control, and also for example the chain gun providing great versatility for both offensive and defensive situations, and well, the BFG, for when you've had enough of thinking and you want the whole demon race to go suck an egg. If there's one thing I can criticize about the ebb and flow of combat, is that skills can sometimes be too dependent on cooldown meters. Most of the focus on combat is already watching your health meter, armor meter, ammo count, and switching between each weapon so you're constantly running and gunning. Cooldowns affect almost everything in your arsenal, such as grenades, mods, suit upgrades, and air dashing, but even with a customizable UI that lets you keep track of these details, or omit them if you so prefer, the rhythm of gunplay can easily be interrupted when all of the cooldowns show up in all different parts of the screen at once, and at times it feels as if the developer perhaps added too much to the gameplay loop in fear of Doom Eternal feeling too similar to its predecessor, which is most certainly not a bad thing. While we were very keen to try out battle mode, servers weren't up at the time of this review releasing, so a proper review of Doom Eternal's asymmetrical multiplayer offering of pitting a Doomslayer against two demons was not possible. However, the weekly challenges applicable to campaign helps gain experience and unlock multiplayer items, along with the staggered series events will most certainly help in keeping the game in your regular rotation. As with most multiplayer games, it lives or dies based on its community support, which won't be quite apparent until after release, but it's at least commendable that id strayed from the beaten path a little compared to just shoehorning in a basic multiplayer mode. There are many other parts of the game I could wax lyrical about, like the procedural damage modeling on enemies, the customizable UI and field of view, the consistent frame rate, and the thumping electro-metal stylings of Mick Gordon's soundtrack, but quite honestly, I would highly recommend experiencing Doom Eternal for yourself. Even if you haven't played the 2016 reboot, Doom Eternal is a fantastic single-player experience that excels upon the foundations of the first game and is one hell of a ride. Once you hear BFG Division drop in the Demon Prison, you'll know exactly how good this game can get. For more video game previews, reviews, and guides, be sure to like this video and subscribe to youtube.com/NewGamePlusTV. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.